All right.
Just Miss Pepi try to figure out the situation.
We've got one more. Hold on one second. Where's my chat? And here's the masterclass program. I realized we've got so many Beethoven pieces and Chopin pieces today. So I try to kind of mix that. Okay. If you look on the program, Aidan, I have you going first. Cecelia, you're going to go second with your Chopin. And then we're going to go back to Beethoven with Téa. Okay. And then Mateo, I'll have you play your Chopin Etude at the end. All right. How's everyone doing?
Happy Sunday!
I know, happy sun. It's actually such a nice day. Wouldn't it be nice to have a masterclass outside?
Right.
Yeah. Well, if you see Miss Pepi, can you wave? She's our special guest today. She's one of my most favorite piano friends of all time. And it's such a treat to have her give us some tips on our upcoming CM pieces. She's super fun and funny and a fabulous pianist. So you're gonna enjoy playing for her. Okay. All right. Do you guys have any questions about the masterclass, or you want to ask Miss Pepi something before we start? I think we have a question. Go ahead, Aidan.
Yeah, so you told me I should play both of my pieces because they're both shorter.
Yeah.
Do you want? Do I just play both of them in the order we said, or do I just play one of them?
That's a good question, Miss Pepi. I'll let you decide that. Do you want to break up the pieces and give a few comments, or you want him to play both?
You mean both, like both in general, or one at a time?
Yeah, because he has the little rippling waters and the sonatina. Okay. He didn't know if he wants you to play it back to back.
I think one at a time is a little better, no? Yeah, just so it's fresh for me, because I'm old and wrinkled and I will forget.
Okay, hold on one second. Oh, okay, that was you texting me. Okay, I'm gonna put the masterclass in program in every once in a while, so in case you didn't get it, okay?
Oh no, don't go.
All right, Aidan, would you like to go sit at the piano and play for us?
Perfect.
So which one are we gonna do first? The rippling. I'm so sorry interrupting you.
We're gonna do rippling waters first. What I was planning on.
Excellent.
Wait, sorry. Can I start over?
Yes. Just take a deep breath. Good job. Okay. Sorry for a second. Having difficulties here to find it. Okay. While I find it, I'll talk to you. So I'm sorry if I'm not facing the camera. Can you tell me what picture you imagine, or if you have any other imagery, or if you relate this to any poem or anything that you have read?
Kind of what I think of this piece is the waves, and that's when I play up, I go make it louder, and then when I go down, I play it softer.
Aha. And why is that?
I don't remember the name, but it's the little arrows that usually go here to symbolize if you're going little, it would softer. Sorry, you would go like this way, and then if you're going louder, it would go the other way.
Oh, so you mean you're following the dynamics, which is amazing, but this is really good. Good for you. Let's think about, what do you imagine? What is this rippling water? Is it a big waves in the ocean, or is it a small brook? What do you imagine here?
I think of kind of not large in the ocean, but more of in rivers instead,
Okay.
because usually in the ocean there aren't really rushing waters, and it's only in rivers. That's why I think of waves in the river.
Okay, so it's not waves, but it's rippling water. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out your dynamic choice, and I'm sure that it's also a choice that you have discussed with Professor Lisa. Can you start that one more time for me? Don't try to rush so much. It could be rippling. I know that you're trying to get really the image, the picture, and play it that way, so it is descriptive in your musical performance. But is this rippling water kind of steady, or it's rushing?
I would say rushing, kind of.
Okay, but do you want it rushing this way, or
the second way, I would say, is what I've been targeting for.
that's what you would prefer? What was the difference? Can you describe it? And it's okay if you can't.
They both kind of sound the same, but one of them, instead of the dynamics in both hands were matching, not one of them playing soft and the other one playing loud. They both played kind of at the same dynamics. Another thing is, I couldn't really hear the difference except for that. And the second one was also, you were playing fast, but it wasn't really rushing. The keys weren't really banging against the thing. So yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I was hoping that you would choose the second, because that's my favorite too. And I do get your point that, you know, in a river there are little kind of waterfalls where the water will go faster and all that. But what you heard, which is great, is how you can use dynamic in the crescendo, which will make the illusion of a little speeding up, because it gets this illusion of agitation, you know, and we are not really speeding up. All you're doing is just changing the dynamic. So if you have this, for example, if you listen to this very skeleton of the piece, sorry, my fingers are not working. Right, a little crescendo in the second phrase, and then you can and then a little. And these last two measures, okay, now before I ask you that question, actually, before I tell you what my thought was, I'll ask you a question. Which hand is more important for you?
I would, usually it's the right hand, and I think it's more of the right hand. Although the left hand is important, because without, if you just play it like here, the right hand, just like this, And then if you just play the left, the right hand more sounds like the piece, but the left hand's kind of like the skeleton of the piece. It's more of the bass notes of the piece.
Yes, it is. You're correct, and it's pretty much the same chord, right? Until the last, next to the last measure.
Yeah, this.
Can you play? Can you reach and play that as a chord? All those 4 notes.
Yeah. Sorry.
G sharp, right?
Like,
Do you have the music? You can open the music and check.
Sorry, I'm
You
gonna.
have the music, Aidan. You have the music.
You have a G sharp. Yeah.
Sorry, it's G sharp, A, E, and G sharp.
Yeah, very jazzy chord, right? It's so you have this. So you can practice like this. Sorry. So just play as a chord and then play your right hand. And then you hear your little rippling and water motion over your harmony. So what I wanted to say, my idea was that you should keep the left hand, just play it as a chord, and don't move your hand, just move your fingers. Can you play it as a chord? A, E, G sharp. There you go. Now, can you play only move your fingers? Don't move them away from the key, only up and down. So very close to the key. Yes, just don't move at all. I don't know if you can see my hand. Let me move my phone. Maybe. See, I'm not moving at all. Yes, and that way, when your left hand is that quiet and murmuring, then you can do anything with the right hand, and it won't sound. Both things won't clash, right? So you can do this very quiet, or you can do this. You can do anything with the right hand you want, but try to keep the left hand very steady and very quiet, yeah? And then the only place your left hand will help is next to the last measure where you go, because this is all the same. And hold on to that last note. Can you try a little bit? Try to keep your left hand very close to the key and very soft, and then do whatever you want. Create a picture with the right hand. Yeah, I think next to the last chord, make sure that it's a D, A, D. I'm not sure. I think I heard A, E. It could be that your right hand is playing the E and I didn't hear the clash of the D. But just check it for you. I thought that was much better for me in terms of balance of two things. And you can play with your right hand. I'm sure, I think you also commented on, oh, my computer is falling asleep. Wake up.
We're probably going to have to
Right.
move on to Beethoven too.
What
Yeah.
the last thing I was gonna say is, I know that the rippling can be uneven and have waterfall, but try to keep those triplets rhythmical. So I'm sure you've heard this, but I can't emphasize how slow practice is important. So, and hear every note. My students hate me because I always make them sing. So they would play the left hand and sing the right hand. Excuse my beautiful auto voice today. Okay. But thank you very much. That's such an awesome piece. I didn't know this piece. I'm so glad that you taught me.
Very good, Aidan. Are you ready for your next one?
Next one.
Good job. Thank you so much. How long have you been playing this?
I have been playing this for a while, way a lot longer than Rippling Waters. About since November, I played it in a December concert. So yeah.
Oh wow, good for you. I like your understanding of it, how it works, like the form. And it's such a joyous key, G major. I love this key. It's very sparkly for me. There is all this study in relation of colors to keys in music. And if I asked you to do that, if I may ask you to do that, what color would you choose for this?
Yellow.
Yellow, very good. Mine was green, but yellow is very close. It's actually a little more complex than just green, right? That's awesome. Good for you. One comment I can suggest for this is just to keep the rhythm. How do you work to keep the rhythm very steady?
I just play. I'm trying to play the same the piece at the same tempo for the entire thing. Usually, each time this part at the beginning, that each time I put that kind of sets what tempo I'm going to play the rest of the piece for.
When you practice with what?
I when I practice the tempo with,
Mhm.
usually
With the
about 60. I have been lately practicing slow, about 65 to 70. So a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I just started playing it faster. So
Okay, good. So you practice with the metronome. I know I hated that. Oh my God. I can tell you, my mom is actually here and she's a pianist and she wasn't really my teacher. I'm looking at her because I'm talking about metronome and she's laughing. That was the least of my favorite things to do, but it's so important because this is the only way when we are not in a lesson. In lesson, I'm sure that Miss Lisa is being your human metronome. That's our favorite thing, right, Miss Lisa? But when we are at home, the metronome is our only police to keep us honest about if we are playing the rhythm correctly, if it's very steady. Because you can be keeping the tempo, but then inside every 8th note has to be very steady. So what I would suggest is your left hand was quite steady for me. But you gotta work both of those, both the left and the right hand the same way. So this, especially you say that you put your metronome at 60, which is our heartbeat, right? So this is your heartbeat. It's awesome. And then when we have quarter notes and we don't have the 8 notes to keep us honest, what do we do?
Usually what happens is sometimes for me, since I've been playing the 8 notes, it seems like the quarter notes kind of go with the 8 notes. So I play quarter notes at the same tempo as 8 notes.
Same tempo, yes, but then how many 8 notes do you have in a quarter?
You have 2.
Yes, good boy. So when you have this daba daba dab, I usually when I'm practicing for rhythm do a little Flintstone exercise, I call it. It's I do this yaba daba yaba daba yaba daba yaba daba yaba daba, and when I have quarter notes I would do daba 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 daba. Right, so I account for each 8 note within the quarter. So because it's our natural tendency when we have longer value notes to get bored and kind of want to rush, but that's not the same tempo as this, right? So just for the humor of it, when you're practicing, maybe do this at the beginning. Yaba daba 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 yaba daba 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 yaba daba 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 daba. My left hand is cut off. Daba 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 yaba daba daba. And at the end of the phrase, yaba daba 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 yaba daba daba. Take your time to finish it. Don't rush. Can you try just a little bit from the beginning? You fell into my trap. Why did you play the quarter notes as 8 notes? Right? And you don't have the music in front of you, that's why probably. What I wanted you to do is this. The see, you have this. This is a question or no, this is a statement. Which one is it? Is it a question or a statement?
Kind of a statement there.
Yes, okay, but then this is somebody else maybe saying something. So if we play like chords, just so we hear the harmony. And see how here you have the top voice in your left hand go in thirds. So it's a duet. Yeah, can you try just a little bit of that?
Where
From
do
the
you want me to-
beginning.
From here?
Very good. Still try. I know that those are 2 and 2 in the right hand, but your left hand is a legato. And listen to it. Listen how both lines go in contrary motion. So don't rush it. Can you do now humor me and do this exercise with yabba dabba? Yabba dabba 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 yabba dabba yabba dabba dabba. Just for a couple of measures and see how you feel.
Do I sit or
I'm sorry?
should I sit or?
Yes, you gotta say the dabba dabba. You have to physically say it so you can control yourself. Listen to yourself. I'm sorry. Do you find it silly? I know I'm silly.
Shall we all unmute and do it with him? Maybe
oh, sure.
Help. Hey guys, unmute. We're gonna yabba dabba together, so it's not uncomfortable for Aidan.
Yes, let's do it
I'll
together.
be a team player. I'll yabba dabba with you, Aidan.
The 8 notes are the yabba dabba, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, let's do it all together. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah.
I don't really.
It's really fine. Just play. That's good.
Go on. I'm so sorry. Can I stop you? I hate to do that, but that's really good because we're coming to the A section again, and is the same. So now in this B section, we basically have this. And it's natural when we have a sequence. When we go up, we do crescendo because it goes higher, right? So the second one will be a little more than the first phrase. So there's a so my point is don't start too loud. Now it's unfair for me to talk about dynamic because I realize that technology is not as perfect as we are, and I can't judge your dynamic through it. So, but exaggerate and crescendo now. And now very soft. The only reason why do you have a poco ritardando in your music?
A what?
You don't have the music in front, but here on the. Do you have a poco ritardando?
Get your music.
Let me do this.
No, look in. I'm asking. Oh no, I can't see. This is measure 14. Do you have a poco ritardando?
On measure 14, yeah, I do, on each one.
In measure 15, you have poco ritardando. So that means slow down a little bit, right? That's what you are doing. That's what I heard you do. And the only reason, I think that's very editorial. first of all, we are not sure if this is Beethoven's work. So I'm pretty sure that Beethoven didn't write the ritardando. This ritardando is editorial. The only reason why it's there is to show you that you're coming back to the material from the first section, from the beginning. So it's kind of like closing the previous chapter and starting a new one. So I wouldn't do too much of a slowdown. Maybe just on the last two notes. And maybe the reason for it is to set you up for the piano dynamic, so you can set your fingers for the piano dynamic. Yeah. Miss Lisa, how are we doing on time?
I think it's time to maybe listen to Cecelia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything else in this movement is the same, and that last part, just practice your left hand, yabba-dabba, 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 and work on your rhythm a little more, and I think it will be just perfect after that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi, Cecelia.
Hi.
Hi. Are you all warmed up and ready to play?
Yeah.
She's invisible today, right? Is she invisible today?
Oh, because you can't see her? I think she's focusing on her fingers for
That's
us.
okay. I don't
Yeah, that
have to see you, but it will be nice to see you after that.
Should I start?
Yes, whenever you're ready. Great performance. Thank you so much. So beautiful and elegant. And I can hear that you understand how it works and pay attention to dynamics and the different character in the second and in the B section. And then when you came back, you said it just exactly as you did in the beginning. And I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Question for you. Have you ever danced a waltz? Have you ever waltzed?
No.
I haven't either. That will be a scary picture. It's just my picturing it, and it's funny. But you have watched Dancing with the Stars, right? I'm sorry, couldn't hear. No, you haven't watched Dancing with the Stars. Okay, well, homework for you. I'm sure you find stuff on YouTube, correct?
Can I interrupt, Miss Pepi? Cecelia is like an awesome dancer. Just FYI.
She fooled me. Okay, so in other words, I should not believe anything she says, right? I'm just kidding. No, I do. So in the waltz, do we have all three beats exactly the same? Cecelia, that was a question for you.
Wait, sorry. Can you repeat it? My computer is kind of glitchy.
Oh, sorry. When you dance, when you waltz, are all three beats the same? Do they have the same equal weight in a way? This is perfect to play when we practice, to practice all our jumps, right? Our connection, our jump. Now, this jump from the chords to the next bass note is also important. So I was watching actually your hands for when the A section came back, and I could see that you're playing down, down. The chords are beautiful, don't get me wrong. I just wonder if you can experiment. Down, down, up, down. Let me see if I can use my camera. I'm using my phone for this. So down, down, up. Do you see my hands? Is that good enough? Okay, so down, down, up, down, down. And you don't have to go like, don't, jump, make huge arch, but this is the motion to go. And now when you do that, be careful not to make the last, the third quarter, the chord too short, right? I don't want to do that. But because in the waltz, the third beat is an upbeat. And if you look at this piece, you start in an upbeat, right? So pim, tara. This what I said for the bagatelle, play the left hand and sing your right hand. And when you sing, you will see that you need a little time to breathe. When we play with singers, we really need to accommodate for them to breathe, or we become their enemy number one. And I have learned this the hard way. I'm sure Miss Lisa has too. Yeah, we become their enemy number one, and you can't hear the end of it. If you don't let them breathe, that's it. They turn blue, die on stage, and then it's your fault. I'm kidding. I'm just being silly. But singing. Sorry. And this, it's an ending, right? It has to evaporate in the air. So, but let me slow it down. It's not fair because I played it fast. It's kind of maybe easy. See how I will up, go to there. I don't really have any problem if you play this before or on the beat, or do you understand what I mean? If your ornamentation comes with the bass or before, I can live with both ways. I think it's such a subtle difference when we play it in tempo. As long as you're convinced and convincing how to do it. I liked your ornamentations were very graceful, but I don't think it was universal. Your A section, they were a little bit on the beat, and then when this came in, then they were before the beat. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is something you need to play around. I'm not going to torture you to do that now because we don't have much time, but can you play? See, what I'm trying to explain also at the same time is the importance of, I'm sure you have played the hands separately a lot, because I can see that you've done a lot of work. I can hear it, but also this is important to be able to play only the left hand and sing the right hand. And at the same time, try, if you're a dancer, that's even better, because you know how your body is involved and goes together with the music. And we use this. I mean, I know that listeners, people that watch us, they won't realize, but it's very important to figure out, to find how physically the music feels in your body. And that's for every single piece, not only if you're playing dances or whatever. It's important for our technique to be comfortable. When you're comfortable to play something and the way you phrase, which is your technique, then it sounds so effortless. And then people come and tell you, oh, you're so talented, you're so lucky you were born this way. They don't realize how much work we put in it, right? So let them think that you're born this way, which is great, because they are not, or they're lazy enough not to put the work in. But if you're a dancer, even better, because you know how the music makes your body move, so you can come together with that, right? So try to figure out how you would dance this if you had to, and just dance it with your hands, with your fingers. Try.
Should I use the music or no?
Absolutely. Please do. That's okay. Take up the very deep breath. I'm sorry for interrupting you. One thing I want you to add, that first note is an upbeat. 1, 2. So it's not, that's not, and it's not what you're doing. But it's not, the downbeat is not a starting downbeat. It's not a starting point, because we already have begun. So pretty much every third beat wants to go across the bar line to the next one, because it's an upbeat. Since we start with an upbeat, it wants to go, even though it's a chord and it's different harmony than the next measure, it just musically, physically, it wants to go into the next. Let's see if that's comfortable for you. That was much better. How did you feel?
Better.
Yeah? I really hope that you're honest. I'm not just telling me that. Now, when you practice your left hand, try to make that second chord a little lighter. It has to kind of pop in the air. It's like an echo of the first one. That's why I was telling you also practice, when you practice the connection of the last chord going to the Tiam. So then you will figure out, you will realize that if you do this with your hands, if you do this T, then you have to have another motion to go up, so you can go down. But if you go up from the keys, not down with your wrist, but up, you're saving an entire gear shift. You'll know what what that is when you start driving a car. So you're saving so much energy and motion. So this is just flat, not really too much wrist motion, but this has to go up and be light, as if you have a dot. If you had to notate that, I would put a dot over the last chord in the measure, over the second chord of the measure. Make sense? Okay, so practice that connection. And also notice that some bass notes are way down here. I think that's for a reason. Chopin's piano was not as loud as our piano. There were still kind of clinky things, and pedals were barely barely been discovered at that time. Beethoven's piano did not have pedals. So your lower notes will have a little more resonance. So I think by writing a lower note, that's what he wants. A little more weight, a little more resonance in it. So a little louder, so to say. I don't like using the term loud and soft. I like to use adjectives for dynamics and for colors and for everything in music. It just, loud and soft is too generic for me. Also, the second one is your right hand. Or when you have a swell like that, don't be shy. That's your diva moment. You know, if you're a singer, now go even higher. So a little more crescendo on that, and it will bring you to the second half, where it says what is your dynamic at measure 17?
Mezzo forte?
Yes. So those last two measures, like that entire new phrase from 13, it builds to bring you to the mezzo forte. Those ornaments were so graceful. I'm so happy. Now, what I was gonna say, don't cheat from the last quarter note. I know that you're busy to jump to the bass, but don't cheat yourself from it. Account for the second eighth note that's in the quarter note, right? So yabba dabba. Let's all go to Flintstone Lands. Now this is a big, you're just a painter. You dipped your book English, you dipped your help me out.
Paintbrush. Paint.
Yes, paintbrush in your thank you, Miss Lisa. See, that's why we are favorite collaborators with Miss Lisa, because we complement each other. And just And doesn't matter how much time you will take. Chopin takes. And take your time, because then you go back into this sad moment. Let me move my page up, since there is no pedal for it. And now. Oh, and now we're in Forteland. I would like to do something different this time. Not sure if this is Chopin's dynamic marks. So play with it. I mean, who is to say? I know if you do CM, maybe you have to be very very correct with your dynamic, but if you're playing a recital, I would like variety. So in other words, just play around. Now that you have the rhythm so well in your hands, just you have to dance it. You have to let the music in your body and just, you know, dancing with the stars, dance with Mr. Chopin. Yes.
All right. Shall we move on to
Sure.
another pianist?
Any questions about this before we move on?
No,
Okay, thank you for playing so beautifully.
thank you.
I think many of us are playing master classes for the first time, Miss Pepi.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, it's super fun for me. It's my favorite thing to do. And so to have you on and, you know, all the pianists get to do a master class with you.
Thank you for having me. It's such a blessing. It's so much fun, and I'm such a fan of your teacher. You guys are so lucky. She's like the kindest, most thoughtful, hardworking teacher there is. And I say that with all honesty, sincerity, admiration to her, because every time I know she's working hard on, I call or talk to her, she's working hard for somebody's presentation, piece, competition. And so you're very lucky.
Oh,
And I love to be here with you. Mwah.
well, we have more awesome pianists coming up for you, Miss Pepi. Next is Téa. Are you ready? Good
Yeah.
job, Téa.
Hi.
This is your first master class, right?
Yeah, it's my first one.
Nice.
So awesome. I feel so privileged. No, don't shut down. I hate this computer.
That's the hardest part, right? About like playing music and doing lessons online is the technology kind of, it helps us, but it also gets in the way.
No, absolutely gets on the way. This shut off, and like the power button is such a bad place.
So
yeah, anyway, I'll figure it out. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead.
yeah, you can take your music out after you play too, Téa, okay? If you want to make some notes from Miss Pepi's comments, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Good job. You know, I'm really impressed. I really appreciate your sense of rhythm, and the fact that you really are motivated to stay with it no matter what happens. It's so important, very admirable, and it's going to help you in the future so much. Now, it's so unfair to talk about dynamics and all that because, first of all, technology, right? But let's talk about the character of this piece.
Okay.
What do you have a picture? What do you want to express with it?
I feel like it's a very like complicated piece. There's like multiple moods in it.
Good. Yes. And if I ask you to describe it, could you describe it, like give me some words descriptive, like adjectives?
It's in some parts it flows. And other parts it's very active. It's very active and like I would say aggressive maybe. Like in some places it's aggressive, but in other places it's flowy and it is very calm. Like it makes it like soothes you.
Do you know what you just described? You described Mr. Beethoven himself as a character, as a person. I think he was like so many different characters, and he had all this very serious side of him, and of course, you know, with him not being able to hear and all that, I think a lot of frustration, but at the same time there is so much beauty in his music, at this, you know, tenderness and all those lyrical places. I'm not sure what edition you're playing from, and
Sorry, Pepi, I texted you one from IMSLP, but she's using a Henley version.
okay. So do you have in the first section, the first two lines, you have all dots, staccato, or
I have some staccatos, yes, in the first part.
and then for the B section, which is where the key changes, do you have legato for that?
For some of it, yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is something that we that you can think about and work a little bit more on. I wouldn't say this first. I know what I hear what you mean with the some parts are more aggressive. Did you mean the opening? Sorry. Oh, I made it happy. Because it's such a nice, beautiful day. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here and hear everybody. Did you mean this is a little more aggressive?
Yeah.
It could be, but I hear more of a sadness than aggression. So aggression has this part of it is if we are irritated, you know. But for me, this is more of a sadness, and it finishes. It's not on the 7th degree, right? On the dominant. So it's not resolved yet. Again, not resolved, right? So those are a little bit like two questions rather than finish. No, for me it is up in the air, question mark. You're wondering. Can you try?
Yeah. Like that?
Yes, that last da-da-dum, bum, 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 yum, bum, 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 kind of goes up, not yum, bum, 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 not definitive as an ending. Also, notice that you also start with an upbeat. So the downbeat of a measure will not be the beginning of a phrase or a motif. Tee-da-dum, bum, 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 yum, bum, bum, bum. So kind of imagine you have a diminuendo. I don't want you to do a big diminuendo, but that's just the expression of the little motif, right? It kind of closes, it finishes, but it's a question mark. It's not definitive end. Does that make sense? Am I confusing you too much? I'm sorry?
I get it.
Okay. So let's see if you can, if you like that. You don't have to like it, just try it.
Okay.
Better. Yes. And can we go on?
Yeah.
Sorry for stopping you. Good that you stopped. Yes, that's very good. If you have to orchestrate this, ooh, what would your left hand be? What instrument?
I feel like it's maybe kind of a drum, maybe like a drum in the back, keeping echo an accompaniment.
That sounds good. So you're thinking in terms drum because you're thinking that should be very rhythmical, but drums don't have all those notes. They basically do 5-1, 5-1, something of that nature, especially during Beethoven time. So if let me help you a little bit. If you have to orchestrate this only for woodwind instruments, which are oboe, flute, clarinet, and bassoon, which one would you choose for your left hand?
Flute.
For the flute for the lower voice?
Oh
Ooh.
no.
I go ahead.
Clarinet.
Just imagine all those instruments. Which one is the biggest one and would make more sound? Boom, 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 boom. If you physically look at the performance of that instrument, you will see boom, 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 boom.
Bassoon.
Yes. So, I mean, the top line could be either flute or oboe, maybe. And I would say middle is your favorite clarinet. Okay? So the bassoon, and this, it depends. It's your choice. If it's more lyrical, maybe an oboe, because the flute is very bright, right? So if it's a very rhythmical place, I would suggest that as a flute, but if it's more lyrical, for the oboe, because of the nature of the instrument. Okay, so now we know all about that. Let's play again. And imagine that you're a woodwind quartet.
Okay.
Piece of cake. Very good. I'm sorry for stopping you. I hate to stop. And I appreciate you trying. I heard this. You try to finish it. Very good. Now, if your left hand is the bassoon, be a little more authoritative. It's probably the piano. I don't hear it. And of course, maybe the recording, but a little, and they're detached, right? I wouldn't really think of them as staccato, and you're not playing it staccato, which I appreciate, but more is with dash under. So they're separate, but a little heavy. So pom 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 pom. Can we do only left hand?
From the D.
From measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Yes, from the D. Very good. Now, don't be afraid to have the same weight with the hand on each one of them. You almost did, but then the jump here where you have to jump, you had to kind of switch positions. So practice that each note with the same weight. Just sink into the key. I'm sorry. I'm not accounting that there is this distortion in the, just sink into the key with tom pom 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 tom pom 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 pom, and try to make those very even and equal. So practice that left hand separate from the right. Could you play only the right hand now? Just the right hand. Very good. So keep it very rhythmical. Sorry. Oh, geez. So very constant, this detached motion. And do it very slow ones now. And here, and hear how the harmony changes with each note in the bass note, in the bass, in the left hand. Listen how the harmony changes. Can you do that? With both hands? That's very much, much better now. Okay, so and the second time is different. Can you do that the second time before the key change?
Yeah.
Aha. So what happens here?
Well, it's like a change in mood, kind of.
It's change of mood, it's change of key. So are we going to breathe?
Yes.
Good answer. All right. So this is your, if you're writing an essay, this is your next paragraph. You have to have space between, right? And if you're a singer, you have to breathe or you turn blue. Okay, so and this is maybe your timpani. They're not equal. I would say down, up. Can you try only that? Down, up. Yes, try to kind of connect them. Play them legato once. Okay. Was that legato? That was super quiet. That was the most beautiful pianissimo that I couldn't even hear it.
Okay.
Aha! So use that technique, but a little softer. That was correct, technique-wise. A little softer.
Okay.
Yes. Now detach them with the same motion of the hand. Yes. Did you feel the difference? Did
Yeah.
you hear that? I could see it. I didn't hear it because the sound distorted, but I could. I saw your hand. Okay, so that's how we finish. Tim pam, and then breathe. And now it's a different key. What key were we in until now?
We were in B flat major.
Uh-oh. What else it could be with two flats?
E flat major.
What else could it be?
Oh,
with two flats?
G minor.
Yes, and we have the F sharp there, right? And it's kind of sad. And then all of a sudden we have, what's this key now?
It is E flat major.
Yes! And if I have to give it a color, this will be the yellow key for me. Yes, so it's all of a sudden from very dark green, we go into yellow. Yeah. And then I would really want you to try. I know this is very difficult to play this legato. And it's almost impossible to play notes that are repeated legato. But we have a lot of, try to play the moving voice legato, which is the middle voice. Now that's extra difficult. And that's the voice that we need to hear, because everything else stays the same. I know we as pianists are taught always to hear this, but if you have to orchestrate this, again, let's orchestrate it. So this, that will be maybe your clarinet. I would actually give it to French horn, which was Beethoven's favorite instrument. And that crescendo that's there and the accent, that's suggestive, but this is what they want you to do, a little crescendo, and that suspension, and then it resolves. So you have to hold all the other notes to hear this resolution. Can you try?
Yeah.
Now smile, and it's yellow. It's a California weather key. Can I see how I'll look in your hands now, because I think it might be no I can see that's okay. What I was saying, that I wasn't looking in your hands, just listening, but I want to see if you're physically sustaining the notes. So play one more time. Yeah, now you're sustaining the left hand. Sorry for interrupting you so rudely, but try to make this. Are you playing both with the thumb?
Playing what?
This moving voice.
Playing what?
The B
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
The moving voice, the B flat, B natural, and C. Do you play
yeah,
that?
Yeah.
Could you try? Would it be? You have pretty good size hands, so could you play this B flat with the second finger, and then first thumb on the B natural, and second finger on the C?
Okay.
Just try it right. Okay, sorry for stopping. Now, when we have, this is in general for everything and for everybody. When we have to play two voices in the same hand, we can't possibly make, at the entire time, we can't possibly make both of those voices legato. So one we have to give up. And in this case, it makes sense to be the repeated note, so you can really sustain the melody line. So just leave it to the pedal. I don't know if you can see.
Sorry, Pepi. After this, we're gonna have to wrap up with Téa too.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, play with this. Just don't sustain the G. Play with it. What I wanted to say for this section in general, just make it a little more different, exaggerate the change of character that you were telling me about. And a little more happy. Instead of, so a lot of legato, and you're really the diva, you're singing, you know, you become Italian and sing all the long notes, all the vowels. Yes. And I was gonna give out that the joke. So at the end, before we go back into the G minor, so we have this before, and now it's and chromatic line. Chromatic line usually carries a lot of tension. This is how composers did crescendo when there were no pedals. So and welcome, Fiorelise. In the wrong key. I think this is maybe the biggest joke. If this was written by Beethoven, this is probably his joke to Fiorelise, his homage to his own piece. Okay, well, thank you so much. I hope some of those crazy ideas you'll find entertaining.
Pepi, we're running a little bit behind. Do you mind? Like, can I ask if you could do a few extra minutes with Mateo too?
I can do many extra minutes with Mateo, if that's okay with
Yeah,
everybody.
he's worked really hard. And everyone, that I know Masterclass is over at 5:30. If you have to go, I understand. This is being recorded. We can send you a link later, but it'll be a treat to hear our last piece. So please stay if you can. Okay. All right, Teo.
Okay.
Yeah,
you might want to scoot your laptop back, okay, so it doesn't buzz.
Yeah.
All right.
And I need some light.
Okay. Should I start? Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
That's okay, Theo. Do me a favor. Let's breathe together. Just in, hold it. Now out. Yes, exhale is very important. Now in. And when you exhale, just start at that point. Don't worry. I
Okay.
gotta tell you, I don't play this etude, so you play it much better than I would do. Go for it. Can you open your music? I really don't care. Just open your music and play it and be comfortable and breathe and don't stress out. Yay.
I think the first time you play an etude, the first performance is always the hardest, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Always the hardest. Mateo,
Especially those etudes, they're so challenging. There are so many different things, and the more you know, the more complicated and the harder to play is.
Yeah.
So just relax. I know I can hear that you are paying attention to a lot of details. So don't worry. Good job. I mean, really, once you relaxed from the stress, which I don't know, I'm so nice, and why would you be? Anyways, I'm just kidding. It's really great. The lightness, you really understand the character of this piece, and I always wondered, why is it called the black keys? I mean, I know that it's all black keys in the right hand, right? Why not the tarantula, for example? I think that will be so much more appropriate for this torture. And there's so many turns and switches, switching gears. and I can hear that you pay attention to a lot of the details. You have a very good understanding of how harmonically it works. You follow your chromatic lines in the left hand. It's great. I hear that you know where it builds into. It probably didn't happen because you were a little agitated and unsettled, but I can hear it's there. So I wonder if a little more of a slow practice will help you. I know it takes a lot of time to do that, but do you really practice it slow a lot?
I try to. I should do more. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I try to. I guess I should do more than what. Yeah.
Okay, well, if you think so, I believe you can. Now, when you practice technically, what techniques do you use to work on the technical side of it? Do you have any special rhythms or?
Yeah, yeah, rhythms, I guess, and yeah, like long, short, and short, long, and then
Mhm.
the metronome and stuff.
Okay, now, do you practice as block chords or intervals? You know, I have the treacherous Courtois edition in front of me, and he has so many exercises and different ways how to practice this etude and every etude. And I never tried all of them, but some of them I have, because some of them are just pure torture. But I believe in this etude because your hand has to stay on the black keys and don't move too much. If you play block chords and if you find the points of shift where it's different and where it shifts into a different position, like for example, do you do practice like this?
Okay.
Do you practice it like that?
I haven't done that. No,
Okay, so I don't want to force it on you, but see if that's valuable to you. This is one of the etudes I play, and for that I had to play. There was no other way for me to learn. You can't learn every single note. You know, that's too much of a finger word. So this is all block chords. And then I don't know if in your edition, what edition do you have?
it was just the one off. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly the name of the first.
Okay, it doesn't matter really. But do you have forte, the first measure, and then an echo of piano? Okay, this is really cute to make, right? And you can use the pedal. I mean, thank God for pedal on the modern piano. We can use, even though your left hand has to be detached, you can do only from fingers. You know, if you pluck the chords a little more, even if you're using the pedal, that will be detached. Again, I don't play this etude, so I'm kind of like side reading it. And then it really make it even practice detached, but don't go too high over the keys, just so you can play with how you can get a different character. Usually, if we change the touch, the different character will, you know, come. Of course, dynamic wise, we can manipulate that way too, and you will have to in this case. But maybe use the pedal the first time, and then a little drier without the pedal. Could you try?
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor and just experiment? Just humor me. Let's do only left hand. Because I believe, it took me so many years and nobody told me that until I was in grad school. So here it is, free for you and everybody else, and don't tell anybody else. Left hand is your base, your building blocks of your house. Without it, you're gone. Harmony, harmony, left hand, especially when we memorize things. So let's play on the left hand and don't be afraid. See, he basically does for you the change of dynamic just by giving you a full chord, and then keep the thumb very light. More weight on the moving voices, on the inner voices. Can you try? Yeah. Don't rush. You're rushing even the beginning. It has to pump, as if you're a conductor. Conduct yourself with the right hand. 1, 2, yum, pum. No. Physically conduct yourself with the right hand. 1, 2, yep. Try to conduct yourself and come with the 1, 1. So 1, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't know if it's the sound is lagging probably, so it's not fair for me to talk about Try to have the D natural, the broken chord on the downbeat. So those two will come before the beat, before the measure line. Yes. So those chords again, the first chords, really the middle fingers really grab the keys with those. Try your thumb not to be too heavy. Can you stay on the key? I don't know if you see my I see. Let me see if you can see. Do you see my hand?
Yeah.
So I see you're doing this. Can you, as if you're plucking? Pum, pum, pum. So actually do an exercise. Keep the G flat and play only the middle voices. Do it one more time and a little more energy in those fingers in the middle voices. Pa 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 pum. Okay, so now play with the repeated G flat, but the middle voices with the same energy. Yes, better. And make sure that the last chord is not longer, even if you're putting the pedal down. I would actually pedal right after that. Pedal, not with it. Not this. Because it doesn't make, I mean, you want all those chords to be short. It doesn't make sense for the last chord to be longer. So try not to catch that in the pedal. Okay. Yeah. Can you do only left hand again? Oh yeah, go on. Sorry. Sorry for stopping you. You have this, and then I'm not hearing. It's a quarter, dotted quarter, right?
Yeah.
So. Yes. So basically, you should be able to play this etude without pedal. Pedal is only for coloring, not for connecting or anything else. So I basically would play with pedal. And then no pedal. That will help you with the dramatic change of character. But when you play, it's just a partial pedal, just to catch the overtones, not to be heavy. Can you try and slow it down? It's you can't practice and find how it fits in the hand if it's in a fast tempo. Slow it down. That's why I was showing you slower so you can hear what's happening. Go on. Go on. Go on. Yeah, go on. Yes. Go on. So what's happening here?
It's like a change in the sections of the piece.
And Monsieur Courteau actually has written a breath mark. So literally you have to breathe there. You must tell me when you're performing this next time, so I can come and breathe for you. I usually do that. I tease my students and I breathe so loud, and it's distracting, but they never forget it, and they always laugh in performance when it comes to that point. So literally, I want to hear you. Maybe play from here and see. Notice how the harmony changes. Like, and don't forget the second time you have this D, hold it. It's different when you don't hold it with the finger. And you have good size hands. So if I can play that, you can play that. So measure 13, and C natural, it's different. So make that obvious for us that it's not C flat anymore, but it's C natural. And then it sets you for the new key and for the new section, B section, right? So literal breathe, set it, and this is like a waterfall for me. It just has to I don't know if you know of this the etude. Some people call it je parlais. So it's like pearls that you if you have a pearl necklace and you take the string off, you know, the pearls will fall down and make this sound. So this is pretty much what the person, yeah, very pearly. But the left hand is in a total contrast. And make sure that the moving voice is what we hear, because the harmony changes there. All right. So can we try? And it's okay if you do it a little slower. From there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I'm glad that you stopped. It was really good, but you gave up at the end. This culmination here is kind of anticlimactic because usually we think of culmination, the highest point, but this is down in the bass. So the left hand, this is why I am emphasizing the importance of the left hand in this etude. So practice a lot the left hand alone, not only because it's your rhythmical, very pedantic rhythmical organization. And you can start a little softer here. So I would write here, yum, 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 this is your French Revolution here. And really every single note on this bass here, every note. Until now, we had to keep our pearls very kind of content and not moving, not active, but as block chords, right? Very, very velvety and fluid. But here, and those are the fanfare. Yeah. Even though it says diminuendo, that's just a suggestion that your chord will change. Don't really yet change. Arrive there and then you can diminuendo. And your chord here, really, this second is important. I don't know how you play it. I sometimes play chords like that, get the second with the thumb. Because it's a lot of stretch for me, and then I can't focus the voicing. If that's the case with your hands, which I don't think the way I see it, we have bigger hands than I do, but make sure that second really comes out, because we need all that fanfare trumpety sounds, right? Even though it's not in the right register, it's in the lower register. So what is and here it relaxes again, and this is like water, and all you have is your left hand like an nocturne, yeah. And that it's very important that voicing. I did hear it, but make sure that your top voice a little more focused in the last joint of your thumb will help you. And I know it says legato. You can't possibly make all three voices legato. So make the lower voice legato, and your thumb can be a little more detached. So you have time to focus, to get the right sound, and to make the crescendo. And don't really make a huge diminuendo. And this is why I'm saying this is a tarantula. I mean, what is this? a tarantella, right? This is the tarantula etude. Why not the tarantula etude? What is this? And you know, it takes time to set for a huge difference from forte to piano, technically and acoustically, because especially if you're in a hall with very live acoustics, you know, it takes time for the sound to decay. So when you practice,
Can I interrupt
yeah.
you, Miss Pepi? Maybe we can wrap up. I think I've made you work
No,
hard
I'm
enough.
having fun. It's not
Getting
not
dinner time.
work at all. Do you mind? I don't mind finishing it. Does anybody? Do you
no.
mind?
I don't mind. Are you okay, Mateo?
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. I just want to bring up the
Yeah,
time. That's all.
I'll hate. You know, I'm Armenian. I gotta talk. It's against my religion not to talk. I'm kidding. Okay, so think about all that when you practice very slow. It's okay to take the time a little bit when you practice it, just so you find how exactly you're gonna switch to what gear exactly, how your hands are switching to make that drastic dynamic change. And then once you find it, you try to make it a little more fluent and without stopping. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on to this. It's the same thing. I really like how you arrived, and then your pearls. I can't even see now. It's dark, and this is your only white notes in the whole etude that you get the pleasure to play with your right hand, right here. So I really want to hear it. I think there is a reason for it. And it resolves. I want to hear that. 7, 1. And breathe again. And your tarantula comes again. Can we actually somewhere around there? Where is a good spot for you to start? Around measure 64, somewhere around there.
Okay. Yeah.
Theo, I'm sorry for stopping you. This you have this, and then you have this. Fine, maybe play. If I can reach that ninth, you can probably reach that ninth. So play it like this a little bit to find the rocking motion, because it becomes very naughty, especially when we don't have the left hand. I hear every note, and it has to be a little bit the opposite feeling, especially because you have to do the diminuendo and rallentando and kind of evaporate that idea into that high note, right? So maybe find that nice. Do you use rotation from the wrist?
I hadn't thought about it, but
I for my hands, I have to use that throughout the entire etude, because it's very uncomfortable to get from place to place. I don't have too long of fingers, especially when they're larger than fifth intervals. I have to use the rotation to bring my hands. So keep your second finger on the B flat, on the D flat, and place everything around it. So place the second finger and place everything around it, and have your hand be like cheese.
Okay.
Yes, just like that. It takes a lot of slow motion because you have to really internalize it. Like your body has to, that technique has to sink in your body and become like your second nature. And then when you need to use it for whatever piece, it's not only for this piece, you know, I mean, that technique you can use for so many other pieces. And then you just have it, right? So, and then you can, so it, I would focus, sorry. What's your fingering for that?
I have a fourth finger on the top A flat, and then I'm doing 5 on the E.
Can you play it fast? Yeah, can you play that without having to make the rallentando? Ah, see, how about don't use the fourth? I do 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3.
Okay.
But then you have to find the natural curve of the hand. Tarayam, tarayam. So this fly over cuckoo's nest.
Okay.
The third finger on the B flat, on the E flat. So you have play an octave, 1, 5, A flat, an octave. Yeah, play it. Yeah, play it. And now keep the 5 and just turn your third finger above and play. Yes, and then in last second, of course, release the fifth finger so you can play. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that too uncomfortable? I'm just playing with the idea because that, for me, that's the only way to not do too much rallentando. I mean, yes, of course, you will do it because you want that note to be nice and ethereal and very soft. But also your fingering is important in that quest to make a very soft note. And it worked for you, whatever you were doing. It's just a suggestion if that, I probably shouldn't have said anything because as my teacher used to say, if I ain't broke, don't fix it. So can we just play from there and go on?
Yeah.
I know that it's soft, but I really want to hear that harmony, that chord. Oh, sorry. I mean, voice it really well. figure out what this is because it happened when you played it the first time. So I suspect that it's probably just a problem in switching of the techniques. So playing block chords, I think, will help you to find, and just you have to know where the turns are. And sorry. So that's one position, and then you have to shift right to this, and then again, and then switch again, and third time, and then you stay there, and then breathe. Yeah, so do it slower, and I want to hear each shift. Sorry. And play legato.
Okay.
See how your left hand is faster than your right hand? Yeah, so you have to align those very, very slow. I would do accent on each triplet. Sorry. Can see, sorry. That wasn't a very helpful. I need to bring my light here. But
you know what? Let's have him play the closing part, and then we'll wrap up. Let's do that.
Yeah. So play from here.
Okay.
This is really good. Which hand leads here in this?
Right hand.
That's how it sounds, but you also need to know the left hand. So do this. Oh, sorry. And then group them in certain way. So I always go into the downbeat across the bar line. 1, 2, 3, and then also group your left hand when you practice. And you play one more of those. So you have to group them and to know where exactly it shifts and how many of those have. And here on the octaves, do you have, how do you voice them? Do you voice the pinkies? What is your leading voice?
Well, it's the lower one supposed to be.
The bass? I know that's the logical answer. And I know this is a little bit contradictory, but have you tried your thumbs?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't. Okay.
And also know that it's right. Why am I saying this? Because the thumb is the stronger finger. Now, when you do this, try not to play every octave, but to rather stay very horizontal. No vertical motion. Just glued to the keyboard, and then when you so practice thumbs separately, and then when you add the top voice, it will give you register resonance, will make it so much louder. And then when you voice this, really pierce that. Not all the notes, I mean, we'll hear all the notes, but this really needs to just really bite it.
Okay.
Yeah? Can you try?
Last time.
If we-
Last time.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, from where? The last.
The octaves.
Okay.
Oh, do you roll that top chord? No, don't roll it. It's
Okay.
not rolled. Block chord. But really top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And make sure when you play the octaves, this is your strong beat, not the first octave, but the second. So really feel 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for practice purpose, right? When you perform, you won't feel 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but your hand needs to, it needs to anchor in a way. Otherwise, you don't know, and your hands kind of chase each other when you don't know where your strong beat is. Okay, good job. Wow, this etude is so difficult. I never.
Can I spill some dirt on Mateo? So
Oh, tell me.
like his strength and his downfall, he's such a good sight reader. I had to give him this piece so he had to get down and practice. So sorry, Mateo, but it's gonna be so good. Okay.
It's so horrible. I'm the opposite. My sight reading as a student was horrible. I mean, I could learn really fast, especially before high school.
Yeah.
You know, but my sight reading, I'm like Miss Lisa.
Yeah, so Cecilia's in 8th grade, Mateo's a 9th grader now.
Oh my
Téa,
God.
you're in 7th this year, right? And then Aidan's a 4th grader. So everybody's getting ready for piano exams. So
That's so cute.
I know, right? Well, they're like, don't call me cute. I'm big, but
Oh my
adorable.
God. Well, we're cute too, aren't we?
Right. All right, Miss Pepi, I'm gonna let the kids go. They have school tomorrow. But it was
That's right.
so much.
Thank you, everybody, for
so
playing
much.
for me.
Thank you.
You made-
Pepi. Thanks.
And good luck on your exams.
Yeah.
Oh, my doggy came to say how excited he is too. Okay, everybody. Miss Lisa.
Bye. Thank you.
Good job, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.